Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we're going to complete a bracket challenge to determine what is the best readily accessible bottle of bourbon you can buy someone this holiday season. My name is
Happy
McNew.
holidays, folks.
Please join me and welcome my co-host, Steve Bickley, along with our special guests, Jim Bosnott, Kathy Cool, and Tim Swyat.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Guys,
How you doing?
my video skills are up there right now.
The challenge here,
it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Bottom.
what we're trying to get after is so many people want bottle recommendations, and it's so easy to give them something that is, they'll never find. We don't want people just chasing their tail. So if we're going to be recommending something for the holiday season, I think I've picked out 8 that are pretty readily available. And then we're going to narrow it down to the one that we think is the most readily available. So that's kind of our official recommendation. We'll get to that, though, after the break. For right now, Kathy said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
Yeah, so we're talking about gift giving and presents. And, growing up, I want to know, what is the most memorable Christmas present you got as a child?
Okay. Most memorable gift. All right. I think for me, it's going to go beyond just what, dollars, because I ended up getting better gifts than this. When I got older, parents were doing a little bit better, but when I was a kid, we didn't have much money. And I'm telling you, the one thing that I wanted one year and I had to have, and I begged for this and complained about it, and I finally got it, was Stretch Armstrong, which to me, looking back now, is like I look at the old ads. I've looked up it's like $9.99. And my parents, that was my big gift one year. I got Stretch Armstrong, but I had to have that thing. And then I got it, and it was actually pretty lame. But the commercials look so cool. But
how long did you have it before you broke him?
Not long. No. He made it longer than my buddy David. His was broke on Christmas Day. I made mine last longer than that. But Stretch Armstrong just didn't last a whole heck of it. His was gone. Christmas Day, done. Which is amazing.
Skin and all the goo comes out. And
it's just like carob syrup in there. So it's just gone. So I don't know. To me, that was like the ultimate Christmas gift, or when I got a tape recorder, and I've written about that for years. My dad, I got a pack of 2 cassette tapes. My dad took one back because he liked his voice recorded on there on one thing he did. So his robot voice, "What are you doing?" is all he said. That's the whole tape. He said, "What are you doing?" And then he would play it back, and he'd play it back for his buddies because he couldn't believe it was actually, he recorded that himself, and he'd keep it. He was like, I give me that tape. I got to play that for my friend. I don't even know why that's a thing. I just don't understand. But that shows you the era we're from now. You can record things on your phone. It's so big. Everybody would be like, well, who cares about that? But back when I was a kid, that was a big deal. He had a record, and he recorded his own voice. Yeah. Took one of my 2 tapes just to keep that to play for his buddies. And again, they'd be dying laughing. I don't know. It's a story I like to tell. Yeah. All right. McNew, what was your best Christmas gift ever?
Okay. So I actually have 2. My first one is a high chair for baby dolls, and my grandpa made it. It literally had like a whole. It was made out of wood.
Oh, that's
It had
nice.
It had
nice
this
one.
whole
Grandpa
tray that
made it.
lifted. Like you put something on it that made it lift. Like the whole tray would lift. You could pull your baby out. Thought it was the coolest thing ever. I think it's still in my mom's basement.
Wait, you never want children.
Yeah, I don't like children, but I loved my baby dolls when I was a baby.
I don't like children.
But, my second though, I was a 90s kid. My brother was a 90s kid. We got these wrestling buddies. I don't know if you guys know what those are.
Oh
They're
yeah, I've seen
pillows.
those. Yeah.
They're literally like pillows that are like maybe 3 or 4 feet tall that look like the wrestlers. I had Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, that's a cool one to get. I like the Macho Man.
And they were pillows.
Oh yeah.
Fucking awesome. And we used to like beat the shit out of each other with them. My mom still has them, and every now and then we'll still go play with them.
Who did your brother
So
have?
cool.
Who did your brother have? You had Macho Man.
I had Macho Man Randy Savage. He had the Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, Macho Man's better.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love Macho Man. He was so colorful. I loved it. And we actually would use them as pillows. Like, so we'd beat the crap out of each other all day and just like go sleep with these pillows later.
Yeah.
They were
My
great.
memory serves me right. There was an Ultimate Warrior one too that I think takes
Yes.
them all.
Mhm.
It would have been really cool. But
I would have gone
Yeah,
Macho
my
Man.
grandma
We should do a bracket
was
challenge of that. I think that Junkyard
He did
Dog.
so good.
It's still Macho Man though. The Macho Man was the best one.
Yeah.
With Miss
Their
Elizabeth,
dog.
he had Miss Elizabeth by his side. I mean, come on, the Macho Man was cool.
Did you ever go see Wrestling at the Chase, Steve?
Of course. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I saw Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff there at a Wrestling
Nice.
at the for 15.
We
16.
might have been at the same event, Jim. I mean, I used to go to those. There's 2 different eras. I went when I was probably about 7 years old. I was really into wrestling, and then back in the mid '80s when I was
Yeah, sure.
into wrestling as well. So there was 2 different time frames, and I was really into that. So yeah. All right, Kathy, how about you?
We haven't heard from Tim yet.
What's that?
We didn't hear from Tim yet.
It was her question. She wants to go last.
Oh,
Let's
okay,
go
sorry.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
want
Tim.
to go last.
Tim, go ahead, Tim.
my memory was 2001 SmackDown, watching wrestling live. That's a whole nother population of human that you just got to experience, and you really understand America. But no, my favorite gift growing up as a kid, the thing that I really wanted, I'm an absolute music junkie. I asked for a stereo receiver with a pairing of 3-way JBL speakers so I can blare my first CD, because I had it on tape, of Def Leppard Hysteria connected. And this is a little old. It's the only thing I can remember that boy, did I ask for a lot of garbage when I was a kid. I really
Right.
I don't remember nothing really memorable outside that first receiver that I actually sent to college with my oldest son, who I finally came back from college with and handed back. He was like, "Yeah, Dad, I don't need this anymore." And that little receiver, that little Yamaha receiver, can still crank some music out. I'll tell you that.
That's
There you
awesome.
There you go.
That's as good as it gets. Kathy, how about you? You asked the question.
I did. My parents were really good about Christmas. We would come out and we were just spoiled rotten, but there were 2. I remember asking for a set of drums
Okay.
and opening all my presents and being like, I didn't get my drums. And they're like, turn around and look behind you. And there's these boxes of drums. I never learned how to play the drums. But the best one, never. The best one was my Sony Walkman that held a cassette tape, and I could wear on my belt.
Right.
And I could listen with the foam headphones with
Oh,
the
yeah.
wire over the top.
Yeah.
I love that Sony Walkman.
Yeah. Those evolved like every year. They would, make amazing strides. So yeah, the Sony Walkman was definitely a thing. And
Yeah.
you
I
could
remember
keep
the
up.
CD player on the bus, and you had to hold it perfectly, or I would skip
Yep.
your songs on
Right.
the bus. You
Yeah.
had in the back. I remember those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
You didn't have to worry about that.
I always skip completely. Nobody asked me.
Jim got
Oh,
skipped.
no, too late. I get skipped.
Well, go ahead, Jim. What do you got?
I was going to go a whole other direction. She said most memorable, not necessarily your favorite. She said most memorable. So growing up, I had a buddy of mine whose dad had every tool known to man. And so we'd spend all our time at his house building stuff. And so I think my dad got jealous of that. I was probably 13 or 14. And so for Christmas, I got a toolbox with all your basic like hammer and drill or hammer and screwdrivers and like a bag of like 2x4s, like I'm gonna build crap. I'm like, this is not gonna work. This is the worst Christmas present I ever had. And I joked on my dad to this day. I'm like we're over there with using lathes and drill presses and settling torches, and he got me like, here's a hammer and a screwdriver and a toolbox. Congratulations! Like,
oh, I think that's awesome.
Oh, that's like dad trying. That's cute.
I know, it was funny.
You know how many like little bird houses you can build with the tools you had? That's precious.
True. Yeah.
But I did.
I did.
All right. Well, guess what, gang? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? I'm going to start this thing off. I've got some Rally Point Rye here from Still 630. This is the 2020 version. It's going to be a bottle kill. Let's see. Here we go. Ooh, a lot of cracks, a lot of squeaks, not a lot of pop, but that's the lead. Next up is Kathy.
I have a bottle of Neely's Single Barrel Murphy's Law, named after our own Brian Murphy.
Okay.
Nothing.
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And it's a brand new bottle.
Curse of the Murphy. Okay. All right, Jim, you're next.
What is so funny is I have the exact same bottle. Neely Family's Murphy's Law. Just out of chance. Let's see if my cork pops any better.
Okay, well, it had to be. That's enough to take the lead.
Better.
Yep. Tim, you're next.
All right, I'm going to go with a Buzzard's Roost peated barrel, and congratulations to Jason Bronner and the team for issuing a bourbon by now.
Yeah, bourbon's out there. I'm gonna have to pick that up next.
Buzzard's Roost. We came home with 3 bottles of that stuff.
It's good.
Yeah, this peated barrel is something else. Here we go.
No, Tim.
Seriously,
Next time,
stop
remind me.
beating
We're
yourself.
skipping Tim. We're gonna skip
Tim
Tim.
has some weird mic settings or something going
All
on.
right, McNew. Here's where we're at. Jim's got the lead, but you still get to go. What do you got?
I got nothing because I have a screw top. And let me tell you, as we're recording, it's a party weekend for me. So when it's a party weekend for me, I drink Jack Daniels. So that's what I'm doing.
Why is this a party weekend? November 30th. What's going on?
Well, as we're recording, it's not November 30th. So
Okay.
running the podcast magic, but it's a party.
What's the party? Oh, is this your?
It's Halloween weekend. We got parties every night.
Yeah.
So you heading to a party after this? Like you going from here to a party?
Right. Of course.
Not tonight, but I started off early at my own house because I got a lot of prep work to do. So I like to be drunk when I do all that because it's better. Because I got to make some food, and I like to be drunk when I make food. So I'm doing that, and then tomorrow we have a party, and then Sunday's trick or treat, which I'm also going to be drunk for because children. So yeah,
Sure.
I'm just going to be drunk all weekend. I'm excited.
So you're gonna be drunk all Thanksgiving Day.
Best
Also
house to
Thanksgiving too,
visit.
'cause I chose Thanksgiving this year. Cheers,
No.
guys.
Cheers. Congrats to Jim on the win. Cheers.
This Murphy's Law is so good.
It's good, right? Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I love their stuff.
What was the chance of us both picking the same bottle for this? Crazy.
That's crazy.
Well, we were
Crazy.
just there last weekend. So.
That helps a little bit. All right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, it's Bourbon Bracket Challenge time. We're going to be determining what is the best bourbon that is readily available. We'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and I'm excited to announce a brand new partnership with Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Many of you have perhaps heard of Leatherwood via our co-host on the Bourbon Daily, Kaylee Baker, who works there. Well, they're now an official sponsor of the network, and we look forward to everyone getting to know a little bit more about them. Company founder Andrew Lang brought his brewing and distilling hobby with him during his years of service as a Green Beret in the United States Army. Whether he was at his home base of Fort Campbell or during tours of duty in places like Italy or Afghanistan, Lang distilled whatever was available to him locally. We are excited about getting to know Andrew Lang and his team better via our programming and are planning a trip down there for the ABV Network crew very soon. In the meantime, check them out at leatherwooddistillery.com, where they will ship bottles directly to you, including their special Remembering 9/11 series, which is raising money for military charities. Seriously, get out there, buy some bottles, help a good cause, and let us know what you think. We're really excited about this partnership. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
Hi, this is Mr. Bill. You're listening to Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we have a bracket challenge to determine the best holiday gift that is readily accessible.
Yes, we are. So we're looking for a whiskey that people can find. So not necessarily bourbon. It's either bourbon or rye here, it looks like, or even some blended products. So here's what we came up with. Here's the contenders. So Seagrass is on the list. Yellowstone barrel picks. So they're so readily available now. I mean, you know, we talked about Four Roses. I can't find those. Yellowstone, it seems like I can find everywhere. So, which is pretty cool. The Basil Hayden Toast, Maker's Mark Private Select, Maker's 101, the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye, and the Legent, and then finally Old Elk. That's our contenders. Here's how they're going to break down. Legent will take on Seagrass. Well, Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye will take on Yellowstone Barrel Picks. Maker's 101 will take on Old Elk. And finally, Basil Hayden's Toast will take on Maker's Mark Private Select. Round number one, up first is Kathy. Legent or Seagrass? What do you think would be a preferred bottle to recommend, again, that people can find?
So with the holidays coming up, we're recommending something that they can buy for a bourbon drinker.
This is for a bourbon drinker. You know, they tend to be hard to buy
for us as bourbon drinkers.
Well, either one, I'd say. So this would be ones that we'd be okay getting because, again, you don't want, you don't want to get something that, you don't like. So ask what do you think is the better out of the two, I think is the way to do it.
Okay. Well, now I need to ask which two?
Legent or Seagrass?
Seagrass. All the way.
Seagrass goes up 1-0. Tim, what do you think? Legent or Seagrass? What's the better recommendation?
I love the story of Legent, and it's actually a good whiskey. It's very, very good, but that Seagrass is over the top. So I got to go with Seagrass.
Seagrass goes up 2-0. So. Yeah. Jim, what do you think? Legent or Seagrass?
I'm going to close it out. That Seagrass as a gift, man, I'd love to get that. If anybody wants to get that to me,
yes. Accepting Seagrass if anyone wants to send some. Yeah. Well. All right. Next up, again, a little bit different. The Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye came out maybe this year or last, relatively recently. And, it hasn't really taken off. I don't see a lot of people posting about it, but it's very good. It's going to be taken on the Yellowstone Barrel Pick, which seem to be out there all the time now. Tim, you're first. What do you think you would recommend out of those two? Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye or a Yellowstone Barrel Pick?
Saw cases of Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye at Costco yesterday. but my Yellowstone is where it's at. Yellowstone is the best story I can give people. People don't know about it yet. I think Yellowstone's
go.
pick.
Jim, what do you think? Yellowstone barrel pick or Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye?
Pretty sure Heidi would leave me if I didn't pick Yellowstone on this one. Like there's always a couple of bottles of Yellowstone. She actually just bought a new bottle and she wanted me to open it for the cork pop, but I didn't want to do too many new bottles tonight and get called a Heidi, so I left that one unopened. But that Yellowstone it's fantastic.
All right. That means Yellowstone is suddenly up 2-0. What do you think, McNew? Yellowstone barrel pick or Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye?
This is one of those hard ones because I think they're both great, but I am also going to side with Yellowstone.
Yellowstone barrel pick moves on. All right. Next up is Makers 101 versus Old Elk. Seems to be a pretty even match, if you ask me. Jim, you're first.
I'm gonna go Old Elk. We did one of the first single barrel picks of Old Elk for Missouri a few years back, and it did very well for us. And it's some great product. I love Maker's Mark as well, but if I'm gonna do a gift, something people haven't maybe had before, but it's still fantastic, that Old Elk is great.
Yeah. Old Elk, Tim, you're not next, but tell us the one you picked up. Old Elk always does a special one around the holidays that they box up, and it's with all the holiday gift packs and all that. What's the one you found recently?
Yeah, I found this was their 2021 Infinity Blend by Greg. It's 60% 6-year bourbon, 24% 12-year, and 16% 11-year. So it's Greg's blend of Old Elk, of some of the best that he's got, and it looks like that's going to be their annual release.
Yeah,
it seems like. Yeah.
What should that run you?
I got it again. I'm a Costco fan. I had a friend of mine called me up and said, "Hey, by the way, it's $125 at Costco, and that's about a $25 discount compared to what I think it retails for."
$150. Okay.
It's kind of cool how to put the age statements on the different blends they're doing, because typically whiskey, well, not typically by law, it's whatever the youngest one in there is what you have to call it age wise. But it's cool they're giving you the percentages of, that's pretty rare to do.
Yeah.
Color on this thing looks amazing. It's one of those things. It's like you don't know for sure. You might as well just grab it because it seems like it's one of the first ones, or at least wider distribution that maybe not be distillery only, and take a stab at it.
Yeah. All right. So McNew, here's where we're at. You're up next. Makers 101 is down 1-0 to Old Elk. What do you think? Makers 101 or Old Elk? What would you vote for?
I will honestly say I have not had Old Elk personally, but Makers 101, I think that's a standout. I think that's a great add to the Makers Mark line. I'm going to go Makers 101.
Okay. I do like Makers 101. I've always said that I like the flavor of Makers. It just needs a little bit more oomph. 101 has that oomph. But that being said, Old Elk is kind of cool and got a great story. Greg Metz, of course, selling whiskey that he made, not at Old Elk Distillery, which he's doing that now, but of course at MGP. So they're sourcing from MGP, and that's whiskey that he made as the master distiller there. Pretty cool story. So I'm going to go Old Elk, meaning they're up 2-1 over Makers 101. Next up is Kathy. Makers 101 or Old Elk?
Isn't it 3-1
for someone I like?
Oh,
I'm going to get this gift for someone I like. I'm going to get the Old Elk.
Old Elk. So it's that's it. That closes out Old Elk. Yes, Jim did vote on that. Jim.
It's 4-1.
No, McNew voted for Makers, so it was
okay.
I did.
That was correct. All right, round number 4: Basil Hayden's Toast versus Makers Private Select. Not a specific one, just in general because they're everywhere. Round number 4: McNew, you're first.
I was not impressed by the toast. I wanted to be. I was excited for it. Very unimpressed. But I think the Makers Private Selects, really, no matter where you get them from, it's a different experience. They put a lot of love and thought into those. I'm going to go Makers Private Select.
All right. This is an interesting one. I'm next. Private Select is not my favorite product, believe it or not. I don't feel like it could beat anybody else, but I do feel like it got a hell of a softball going against Basil Hayden's. I'm not a Basil Hayden's fan. And the Private Select, we're still waiting for the first barrel of one of those to be sold out. They're everywhere. Gosh darn, they're everywhere. But it just seems to last forever. I see Schnucks has one, and then I go there 6 months later, and that's still there. I can still get whatever the Schnucks Private Select is, it's just not my thing. But out of these two, it's going to get my vote. So that means Private Select goes up 2-0 over Basil Hayden's Toast in round number 4. Kathy, you're next.
So here's what I'm going to say about the Private Select. I love them. I think they're a lot of fun. I love the names that people are giving them. I have a stave preference.
Right.
And I do. And I haven't tasted the toast for Basil Hayden's. I've tasted a lot of Basil Hayden's. Haven't tasted the toast. But I love the fun of feeling like you've created your own bourbon with the Private Select, and I'm taking Private Select.
Makers Private Select moves on. All right, our final 4 looks like this. Seagrass will take on Yellowstone Barrel Picks. That's your finale right there in round number 5. And then Old Elk takes on Makers Private Select. Kind of a dud, if you ask me. Round at number 5, I'm up first. Seagrass versus Yellowstone Barrel Pick. I hate this because these are fantastic. Now, we're trying to do the most accessible, and not every store has a barrel pick. It's pretty prevalent out there. You can find it, but if you're looking for path of least resistance, I think Seagrass is the way to go. And gosh darn, I do love Seagrass. Man, it is so good. It's flavorful. It's different. If you're buying for the, bourbon drinker can be tough to buy for. They get a lot of things, but I don't necessarily know that they've had Seagrass, and I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to go Seagrass, meaning it goes up 1-0. What do you think, Kathy? You're next.
This is tough. Seagrass is delicious, and it comes in at a higher proof.
Yeah.
Yellowstone Barrel Picks, they're going to come in at a higher proof. And
depending, yeah, they're all over though. There's like 3 different proofs you can get.
Right.
So you can get what is it, 90, and then then barrel strength, which is usually around 105 or something, then 115. There's like 3 different proofs that they do. So yeah.
So it's almost like, which distiller do you want to promote more? I'm going to keep it fancy. I'm going to go against Steve. I'm going to go with Yellowstone, so it goes further down the line.
Okay. All right. So it's tied up. Tim, you're next. We're not at 1 apiece here. Seagrass and Yellowstone Barrel Pick. What do you think?
Part of the story of getting something for the holidays is also giving back to what somebody wants to do. So Yellowstone, you want to save your national parks, drink Yellowstone. And I think, Jim, if you correct me if I'm wrong, Seagrass and Barrel's doing some donations back on Seagrass to ocean research too. So you got two strong distilleries.
This should be the finale. It really should be the finale. It's not. It's not though.
Yeah. I know. Oh man, loving both. That Seagrass is so good. I got to go Seagrass.
That means Seagrass. Seagrass goes up 2-1. Jim, here's where we're at. Seagrass versus Yellowstone Barrel Picks.
So I love both these bottles. I've been lucky enough to do single barrel picks at Yellowstone, or Limestone branch of Yellowstone. And, for me, if I'm buying a gift, I don't know, for me, I personally have a better story that I'm telling with the Yellowstone. And I think it's a better value for the bourbon. I mean, I love Seagrass, but from a value standpoint, if I'm buying a gift, it's hard to pass that price point up. And I just really love promoting what those guys are doing. And they're distilling now. So I'm going to go with Yellowstone.
That means Yellowstone is tied up. So McNew, it comes down to you. Seagrass or Yellowstone Barrel Picks. You are the tiebreaker here.
So this one kind of tears me a little bit because I love Yellowstone, but I think barrel picks are finicky, right? Like you're either going to get a great barrel pick or one that you don't personally like. It doesn't mean it's bad. You just might not like it. I would not give barrel picks or store picks as gifts. So I'm going to go with Seagrass.
That means Seagrass moves on to the finale. All right. Old Elk versus Maker's Mark Private Select. Round number 6. Kathy, you are first. Old Elk versus Private Select.
I still have fun with Private Select. I'm going to keep them. Private Select.
Private Select goes up 1-0. Tim, what do you think? Old Elk or Private Select?
Yeah, I love the barrel stay finishing, the story behind it. You can sit there and talk about the bottle while you're trying to enjoy the whiskey and figure that whole whiskey thing out. I got to go with Private Select on that one due to the dynamics of it.
Private Select quickly goes up 2-0. Jim, what do you think? Private Select or Old Elk?
I'm going to close it out. You get over 1,000 recipes for Private Select, and I know, Steve, this goes against everything you believe in, but I just think there's some fantastic recipes you get there in Private Select, as long as there's not mocha in that stave. So I just think I've had some fantastic ones. So I'm gonna go Private Select.
Do you know there's not as many recipes as they say, because there's some they ban. Like you can't do like 10 mocha. They won't allow you to do that. So
Who says?
Maker's Mark,
right? People you're buying it from say no.
Yeah, they don't allow you to do like 10. The only one you can do 10 of is the 46,
which is already 46.
Right, exactly. They've already got that. Which I think is so.
I thought that's what you couldn't do 10 of. I thought they wouldn't allow you to do that because they only sell cast strength 46.
It's basically a product they already have, but yes, they won't let you do that. They won't let you do 10 of the other ones. So yeah,
but they would. I was told the opposite. I was told you can't do 10 of them of the 46 because they sell cast strength there at the gift shop. But like for me, like the last pick we did there was pretty cool because it was one of only 3 combinations that had never been done. Just out of dumb luck.
There you go. There you go. All right. So our finale looks like this. Seagrass will take on Private Select. Round number 7. Jim, you're first. Seagrass or Private Select? What is the better barrel or better bottle recommendation for someone saying, hey, I'm going to find something. Oh, I'm heading up to the liquor store. What should I buy?
So this is such a tough choice for me. But what comes down for me is I don't know what Private Select they're picking because it depends on what store they're going to. And so if you're going to say any Private Select versus Seagrass, like a random Private Select versus Seagrass, I'm going to go with Seagrass. That is such a unique bottle, just a fantastic pour, and I know it's going to be consistent no matter where they're getting that bottle. So I'm going to go with Seagrass.
All right, McNew, you're next. Seagrass is up 1-0. What do you think? Seagrass or Maker's Mark Private Select?
I am going to contradict everything I just said in the Yellowstone vote and go with Maker's Private Select. And, like I know I said, like, I like consistency, like, what you're getting with Seagrass, but I just think those Maker's Mark Private Selects are special. Like, I'm going to go with the Maker's Mark Private Select.
Maker's Mark Private Select. All right, I'm gonna go with what I would buy, and Seagrass, 100%, absolutely. These are both in the same price point area, and I can see. I don't care what the Private Select label says. I'm going Seagrass. That's going to take my $75 or whatever the approximate price is of those two. I'm going Seagrass. Means that Seagrass is up 2-1 over Private Select. Kathy, you're next. Seagrass or Private Select?
I'm going to send this to the tiebreaker, and here's why. I think McNew has a point when she says, people can go into a store and they can get a variety of something. We don't know what they like. I want to keep the Seagrass for myself. So don't buy my Seagrass.
Okay.
Buy the Private Select for your guests, and I'm going to let Tim be the tiebreaker.
Okay. So judges are allowed to vote however they want, no matter how wrong we think they are. So her logic would say she should have voted for Seagrass there, but she did not. And we can't take away her vote. Per the rules, she's allowed to do that, even though that sounds like a mistake. So here's where we're at. So here's where we're at, Tim. Seagrass takes on Private Select, and it is tied. What do you think someone who's looking to buy a gift for a bourbon drinker, which can be tough to buy for, what should they be buying?
Kathy's subliminal advertisement of saying Private Select. You either win with the Private Select that you grab on the shelf and you're trusting somebody read your mind of what you like, or you're going in blind with Private Select, not knowing what you're getting. Seagrass itself is something over and above itself. Kathy, I love your strategy on playing defense, but if I'm giving $75 out for a bottle, the one they're going to talk about more is Seagrass.
That means Seagrass is our champion. How about that?
That's a good winner.
Good on, Beryl.
Solid.
That should be the gift that you're giving. I know many listeners are looking, what can they give Steve Akeley this year? There you go.
Or any of us.
Well, Bill should finish each a bottle just for suggesting it.
Seagrass is the one to get. I love it. And I don't think you could have too much of that in your inventory. Kathy, do you agree? If you have like 8, all of a sudden, if all of a sudden someone sent you, like 8 people sent you bottles of Seagrass, you'd be like, that's too much. It's ridiculous. No.
I'm going to tell you what, I have 3 bottles. I could use 8 more.
Exactly. No one's going to complain about that. Yeah. Yeah. The only reason why these bottles aren't drained already is because we back off a little bit. We're like, this is going too quick. I got to move on to something else.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Heidi sent me a text. She said she had to take it away from Jim. Otherwise, it's going to be empty.
Yeah, 100% happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
If Heidi wants to protect a bottle from Jim, she should cover it in ticks.
And ticks.
Ticks don't bother me.
There you go.
Well, on the
four
dinger,
ticks.
they
I
do.
don't get
Ticks
them
on the
all.
dinger bother everybody, right?
Yeah.
No one wants ticks on the dinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy your t-shirt at Amazon.com.
We have ticks on the dinger t-shirts out there. Yes, get your t-shirt for sure. All right, we'll wrap this one up. As we always do by talking about where people can find us. I saw Miss Becca Sue wearing a Ticks on the Dinger t-shirt when I went up there the other day. A listener had sent it to Royce, but he refused to wear it. So she was wearing it. All right, Kathy, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, also known as Meta, at Kathy Cool.
Are we going to try to make this thing happen for them? We're going to help them out. Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right, Tim, how about you? Where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram at SwyGuy2112 for a good time for fundraising in the holidays or private and family events for whiskey tastings. You can find me at abvnetwork.com at the private and corporate tasting events page.
All right. Jim, how about you?
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnat or on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJIM.
All right, McNew.
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV and every Tuesday hosting bottle kills and last meals.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, or Meta at Steve Akeley. You can also find me on my website, steveakeley.com. But don't forget to check out abvnetwork.com because everything that we do is out there. Say you're interested in my book. That's right there on the homepage. So check us out at abvnetwork.com. Click on that. It'll take you to Amazon. Buy that thing. Get it. And get out there and get traveling. Build up some points. Check us out. abvnetwork.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right. Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.